So hi everyone. So now we are going to see the session 2. So here, like earlier session, we have covered about the starting point of what is SAP, what is GTS, how to understand, and also how the different modules comes inside GTS, and what are the different types of feeder system, and all this has been covered in the session 1. You can just go and look into it, so understand what is told there. If at all, if you guys are not following up the first session, then first second session will not of any use, will not be of any use at all. Now we are going to concentrate on feeder system. So in general, if you go to any GTS training, they will not teach you about what is the feeder system, what is that they are doing, and all those. So what I will do is I will help you to understand what is the basics of SAP ECC system more specifically, and we will see what is that going to help you. And I also will tell you that the latest version of SAP ECC right now is SAP S4. Okay, and you are not going to deal with SAP ECC at all. So by 2027 it will all be done, and SAP S4 will be the scope for the next going forward. But then why am I telling you about SAP ECC is that if you don't have any basic understanding of SAP ECC, then SAP S4 is going to be very tough. Okay, so I'll tell you what is SAP ECC and what is all about that, so that you will be able to understand SAP ECC and then slowly come to SAP S4. Now under SAP ECC there are various modules in SAP ECC. Okay, and actually in the previous session the homework what I gave is you have to tell me what is the module what is the latest version in SAP ECC, and if any versions of SAP ECC can be connected, any other module in SAP ECC can be connected to SAP GTS. If yes, what is that? What is SAP ECC module can be connected to SAP GTS? So that is what the question. So try to give that answer so that we'll be able to cover up. To be honest, I'll be able to understand that you guys are doing some homework. So before to that, let me tell you what is SAP. See, in general, I'll tell you something. SAP is called as systems, applications, and products in data processing. So what I told you in the first session itself, it is all like database. You are going to manage a data. So how much you are going to manage the data, that much dependency you will have in your system. Okay, so say for example, you can use Oracle, you can use Tally, you can use Excel sheet also, but based on the data only, you will be able to decide which application you can use. Now, the thing what you need to understand is that there are two concepts in SAP, two verticals I would say. One vertical is called as technical and another vertical is called as functional. So what is the difference between a technical person and a functional person? Okay, technical and a functional. So if you are very good at coding, okay, if you are very good at programming, if you are very good at coding, then it is preferred you go for technical perspective. Okay, if you are good at understanding the business, if you are good at providing a best solution to the business, then I would recommend you to choose the functional perspective. So based on your capability, you can decide whether you wanted to go for technical or functional. To take my case, basically I'm not very good at C itself. Okay, I was not able to understand much, but right now based on my experience now, even to the developers, to the technical team, I am able to say the logic. This is how it has to go. This is how the loop has to be done, and all those. But at that time, when I was starting my career, like 12-13 years back, I have zero idea of what is technical, what is coding, and all those. So I was very afraid. So I did not choose technical honesty. But on a functions perspective, yes, I was able to choose it. One is that I have a confidence that I can explain certain concepts in a better way of understanding for the other person who is listening. So that is why I decided that, okay, being a functional, I can understand the system as well as I can educate the other users or the business user or the other person who wants to learn about the functionalities of the SAP system. So you need to decide whether you will come under technical or functional. Now here, technical means in SAP, it is only ABAP. And there are, if you ask me, it is only ABAP. No, there is basis, there is security, there are a lot of things are there. But honestly speaking, if you know technical programming language, then ABAP is a programming language you need to work on. But when coming into functional, you have hell lot of functional areas there. I have already showed you or told you in the previous session also. I'll repeat it the same way. See, the functional areas are finance, and then material management, and then SD sales and distribution, and then HCM human capital management, and then PP production planning, and then QM quality management, and then WM warehouse management, EWM extended warehouse management, TM transportation management, GTS global trade and services. Actually speaking, before GTS global trade and services came into picture, foreign trade and customs was the functional area which was dealing inside SAP. Once they started with SAP GTS, it came as a separate entity, and you have to log in into separate instance to go into GTS system. Clear? SAP, I always said that it is an ERP system. So SAP deals with ERP. What is ERP? Enterprise Resource Planning. So that is called as ERP. What I would tell you is that it is better you Google it. See, certain areas which will be great for everyone. See, I'm not aware of what is HCM. I'm not aware of FI. So I just know what is that. But what does they do inside? I don't know. What is ABAP? I know it is a programming language used for coding. Okay, but how do they do it? I don't know. But they need a logic. I'll be able to help it. But if you want to deep dive in any specific area, I would recommend that it is you go inside Google, use ChatGPT, use Gemini, or use Google itself. Type in what is this, what is this, what is this. If you have any videos related to that, check it out. What is this, what is this. So that is how you will be able to understand more. Okay. So in the case of technical, so basis, ABAP, these are the areas where technical perspective of dealing will come. Okay. Now what is that we are going to deal is, in SAP ECC we are going to talk about SAP MM. What is SAP MM? SAP MM is nothing but SAP materials management. And where, like I told you, right, there are lot of areas where you will be able to, there are lot of different modules in GTS. Compliance module, customs module. Similarly, in SAP ECC, when I say SAP MM, where does that fit in? That question will come. So let me answer that. Okay, you have to see, this is the SAP login pad. Okay, so whenever you go into any company, once you assign a project, they will give you an SAP application. Sometimes it is pre-installed. Sometimes you have to raise a request and install it. Once you install it, these all entries will not be there. It will be blank. And then what you need to do is, like, you need to go into new connection, and they will give all the details. You just click on next. They will give you the description, system, application server, instance number, all these details they will give you. And once you fill up all these details, you will be able to log in with the ID and password which they give it to you. Some give ID and password to you. Some, if you are already inside a client network, it is via single sign-on, it will directly take you in. So it depends on project to project. So right now I am entered using the password, ID and password. And at the top or at the bottom, sometimes it might be at the top, some application it might be at the bottom. So it depends. At the top here, you will be able to see what is the system details, whether it is ECC production, ECC quality, ECC development. Right now I'm in demo system, so this is the system name which has been defined, so that is given. And then client name, so there can be different clients you might have, so it depends on what is that. I'll tell you about what are the different clients on all those. User is nothing but your user ID, and the server is, you gave one server in the, when you are creating the login pad, right? At that time this server details will come, and this is the program, and this is the transaction code, and all those details will come here. Okay, mostly it will be like this, you will not be able to see, but if you click on this arrow you will be able to see. Okay, if some people feel that they don't want to know the system name, they just wanted to know the transaction, so they click on the transaction code. But I specifically want, I have multiple screens opened. Sometimes I open ECC parallelly GTS, quality parallelly production, so I wanted to know which system I'm accessing, so I would prefer to have the system name at the top of it. And then now this is the SPRO. SPR, whatever the transaction code is a keyword which you need to remember that transaction code, if you have whatever transaction you have to enter it over here. Okay, so SPRO is a transaction code via which you can go inside to define or configure any details to the system. See, every project will have, every company will have specific configurations which needs to be done. So all these configurations you have to do it, you have to go via this SPRO transaction only. Okay, and then now we are going to specifically talk about SAP MM. SAP MM is nothing but the materials management. You have a separate link for materials management. There you have to do configurations. What are the details they are asking you to add? You have to add all those details over here. So basically, in which module materials management comes in? Material management comes inside logistic module. So what is logistics? Okay, first of all, you need to understand what is logistics. Without understanding what is logistics, it will be very, very tough for you to understand what is SAP MM. Okay, and one more thing, don't call it as SAP MM, say it as SAP MM, SAP ECC, SAP ABAP, SAP GTS. So this is how you need to say. Don't say SAP. Okay, that is the basic criteria or quality of a GTS or a SAP person. Call it as a SAP. Everywhere I say SAP. I don't say it. I say SAP. I don't say SAP. So you also need to follow that. Okay. So what is logistics? Again, if you wanted to understand about logistics, Google it. What is logistics? But let me tell you. See, logistics on a whole, it deals with the materials movement. Okay, we are talking about materials management, and in materials logistic module means dealing with materials movement. So whenever you deal with a material which is moving from one place to another place, say for example, you have procured a material. So the material will come from the supplier place to your warehouse, from your warehouse gate to quality management side, where they will do the quality check, and once after the quality check, they will send it to the inventory, and from the inventory it will go to its necessary places. So the material is moved from supplier to gate to your warehouse gate to the quality place, to the quality place to the inventory, and then you might use it for production or manufacturing, and then you might sell it to your customer. So the entire movement of goods from the point of start to the end, that is called as the logistic module, which is nothing but movement of goods. So when I say logistic module, you could have noticed it. What did I say? From the supplier, correct? It is coming to your gate, and then it is going for quality inspection, and then it is going to inventory, and from inventory production area or the manufacturing area, and then to your customer. So here quality management comes inside, production planning comes inside, customer. So SD module also comes inside. So a logistic module deals with the movement of material, where inside the logistic module you will be able to understand SAP MM, SAP PP, SAP WM, SAP SD, SAP QM, and so on and so forth. So you need to understand basically what is logistic module. So that is why I given a clear picture of what is logistic module. If at all you guys have any questions, do let me know so that I'll be able to answer it. And again, if in case of anything you want to explore more, I would recommend you to go and Google it, because this SAP MM concept I'm not going to teach very detailedly. This will cover on some concepts where it is useful for GTS. So you have to understand what is that we are going to learn about. Okay, so I would recommend go and try to explore more. And again, I'm telling you guys, these modules are going to get obsolete, not like these modules. Okay, these modules may get obsolete. I mean, when I say obsolete, these modules are moving out, and there are new modules which are coming in, which are already came in: SAP S4, SAP EWM, SAP TM, SAP GTS, SAP CRM, SAP SRM, SAP APO. There are many more modules which are coming in. Okay, so you need to be on track, get all the updates, necessary updates, so that you will be able to understand what is the best solution going forward. You cannot say that I learned SAP MM, so I will stick to SAP MM. You have to move ahead and learn about SAP S4 also. Okay, so there are, like, if you wanted to work in SAP, I would say there are a lot of companies, those are partners with SAP. Let's say IBM, Wipro, TCS, Accenture, EY. So if at all you wanted to explore or ensure your career, you want to be strong with in SAP, then you need to choose that these are the projects or these are the companies you have to work with. Okay, now let's move on deep inside to what is procurement. Okay, procurement is the first step. Okay, procurement is the first step in SAP MM. So what is procurement? So when you will procure a goods, you want a goods for doing some purpose. So when you will procure the goods, when there is a need, so you need to understand the requirement. So determination of requirement plays a major role in procurement process. So this is the first process where you need to understand about what is the requirement, when is the requirement, and how many quantities is the requirement. All these things you need to understand. And after the determination of requirement, what is the next step? You understood that I need these many products. Now the next is source determination. So how you will know from this person I will get the goods or not? So you need to determine who is the person who is going to give you the products. And then once you know that from these guys I'm going to get the products, then you will not get all the products from the same people. So you will determine the vendor. So you need to determine who is the vendor from whom I'm going to collect the products, correct? And then what is the next step? You have to go into PO processing. So the first step is that you need to, for the first step of procurement, okay, the first step of procurement is that, okay, you need to determine the requirement. What is the requirement? So determination of requirement, okay, and then the next step is going to be determination of source. So source determination. So you need, first of all, you need to know the products which you want to prepare or manufacture. Then you need to understand from where I will be getting this. Then you need to go for vendor determination. You will come to know that there are 10 people who can supply the goods, but will you go for all the 10 or you will choose one guy? So that is how you will be deciding the vendor determination. And then next step is PO processing. So you need to know, you need to create a purchase order. That purchase order will help you to understand that I'm going to send the purchase order to this vendor to the purchase of goods. So you need to ensure purchase order processing needs to be done. And then the next step is PO monitoring. You have created a purchase order. You have sent that purchase order to him, to the vendor, but has he confirmed that he will deliver it or not? And when he will deliver it? And all those things you need to monitor. And what is the next step? Once the goods are sent from the vendor to your warehouse, you have to GR it. GR means goods receipt. As per SAP terms, everywhere you will learn about GI, GR. GR means goods receipt. GI means goods issue. So you need to understand those terminologies. And then once you have received the goods, is that over? No, you have to provide the invoice receipt to the vendor. You have to send the invoice and you have to receive the invoice receipt and verify it from the vendor and then pay the amount to the vendor. So this is how the entire cycle, and the last step will be payment. So once you have done the payment, then that is it. So this cycle will come to an end. So the cycle in a way is that it from determination of requirement to source determination, and then you have to do it like it will be like from source determination to vendor, and then it will be like you have to from vendor determination you will decide how to create the purchase order. And once a purchase order is created, then what you will do is that okay, so once a vendor is determined, you will create a what is this? I don't know why this is coming like this. Okay, so once the vendor determination is done, you will create a purchase order. So once you have created the purchase order, you will monitor the purchase order whether it is agreed by the vendor and whether he is going to send the goods or not. And once the goods is sent, you will receive the goods inside your warehouse. That is what is called as goods receipt. Once the goods receipt is done, the vendor will send the invoice receipt. Once the invoice receipt is done, the payment has to be done by you. So this is called as the procurement cycle. So you need to understand this. This will be same applicable for export process. So export process, what will happen? Your customer you need to identify. The customer will see the determination of requirement. That will be like what is the product required by the customer. So you based on the requirement of the customer, you have to prepare the goods. So once you have prepared the goods, you will be supplying to the customer. So you will be creating a sales order. You will be monitoring the sales order. You will be goods issuing the products. You will be generating a billing document, and you will be receiving a payment from the customer. So import or export, similar process is what used. So this is the basic understanding of SAP MM, that too specifically on procurement cycle. I hope I have made certain things understandable. If there are any doubts, let me know, because tomorrow or next session we will cover about the organizational structure, organization levels in SAP MM. So what I would tell you is, before going to the next session, as a homework, I have given a procurement cycle, come with the sales cycle. Okay, this is for SAP import process MM procurement cycle, come for a SAP SD sales cycle. Let's see who is preparing that, and also understand about what is organization structure, and come prepared with that, so that in next session I will be asking you guys on those questions. Clear? So this is it for today. Thank you.